walk in Aries, and I just found
This coffee
$100.
ceremony is an important event in the girls' home.
Glory
For
be to
those
God,
of us
yo,
used
that's
to making
crazy.
coffee in a
Good morning, y'all. Yo, so I was just having a conversation at my second job the other day with a few patrons, and today's topic is going to be the discussion of beautiful women such as myself and their insecurities. And so the gentleman and I were having a conversation, and they said, Nick, you're the most beautiful woman in the world and the most insecure individuals in the world. And I said, touche, absolutely, agreed. However, I'm not, LOL. But no, all jokes aside though, honestly, I get it. And I ask myself, because as a woman, I think individuals as humans, we all have insecurities. It doesn't matter how financially stable or intelligent or physically beautiful you really are. So, and then I sit here and analyze, yes, I'm a woman and I'm gaining self-confidence day by day and my God confidence, and I've never seen myself as this gorgeous individual that everybody portrays from my exterior, because A, I'm humble, but B, I don't like attention, and I don't like anybody portraying me on just physicalities. I want them to know my intellectual, my intelligence, my heart and soul, basically, because the exterior is nothing. You could be the most beautiful woman in the world, the most sexy guy in the world, but you have a shitty heart or malicious thoughts and views, and then it defeats the purpose of your beauty. It contradicts it. But I also wanted to tell these gentlemen, you got to look at it at both perspectives. The most beautiful women all have issues, right? We all have issues as human beings. However, why don't you look at statistics and see all these beautiful women, right? And look at their background. And look at, their upbringing. How many of them lacked a father? Me, I've never had stability. I never had encouragement. I never had a father. I never had that positive male role model in my life, to build up your confidence, to help you as a woman develop. Every woman yearns for their daddy as a little girl. I never had that. So that's why, yes, I do have daddy issues. Yes, I do have mommy issues. I've never had support. I've basically, come through this world by the grace of God, with God on my side. And then you also have not necessarily lacking the father or the family to build you up, to give you this confidence, to give you the stability, to give you all these tools that you're going to need for the rest of your life. How many of us have been sexually abused, raped, molested, hurt, because of our beauty? So, and then you have so much self-loathing and self-hatred and guilt and shame because of your circumstances that you have succumbed and the trials and tribulations that you've been through. And, it's been a big accolade in my life and a big trial and tribulation, because, like I said, you beat yourself up with the guilt and shame, and then you start hating your beauty, or you start diminishing your light because of what you've gone through. So, it diminishes your inner being as a human, because, you've been hurt so bad and you don't know what to do or how to react. And especially me. A lot of you may or may not know, I was sexually raped, molested, abused, mentally, physically, emotionally, for predominantly the majority of my life. I remember the first time being 2 years old, and then it stopped, and then when my mom moved from Cali, then it was like basically the victimization, like it follows you. Like you're a walking target, and like these predators see you. They seen you've been hurt or used or whatever, and they do their thing, comfort you and then molest you. Then it started happening avidly from about 6 to 16 every day. Sometimes, and I can remember counting with my stepfather about I mean, one time, 10 times was like minimal. And he was an alcoholic. He was also a victim of sexual abuse as a child, which doesn't condone his actions. But, you know, if you look at the background, alcoholic, drug addict, a military man. So we had this whole persona, this whole facade that we were this perfect family. And that every holiday, and we all put on our gear, we put on our mask. That's why that's my favorite poem, The Mask We Wear. And we would smile. And you know, it's mind-boggling because my mom said, I never knew. You were a perfect kid. You never cried. You never disrespected me. You had straight A's. You did your chores. You never answered back. But yeah, I thank God. And people are like, yo, Nick, you're so happy all the time still. You know, I remember telling my cousin, who used to be my best friend, the love of my life, and I told her, and my aunt, who was my favorite aunt as well, until they let the world and greed get a hold of them, and addictions as well. And I used to sit here, and they're like, no way, Nick, you're so happy, you're, you know, such a good person, and even though you've been through this, you're always smiling, and still trying to love the world with the love of the Lord, trying to love everybody, and trying to help, but you know what? I said I turn, you know, my pain into a message, you know, the mess into a message. And I guess it happened so I can enlighten you guys, you know. There's so many incestual things going on. Like I said, the statistics with rape and molestation is mind-boggling. How many men now? And then we wonder why society is so jacked up and why we're such a sexual, lost, unmoral. And I said, you know, that's the God in me. And like I said, you know, we live in this unmoralistic world that people are just all about sex, and physicalities, and what can you do for me? What can you give me? How can I play you? How can I use you? How can I take advantage of you? Well, it's such a narcissistic place. An individual, it's all about me. Selfie. Look at me. And it's the attention that we have sought because we never had it. It is, you know, the sexual activities that we do because we're sexually lost. You know, people say, ill Nick, you know, you've been sexually fluid and blah, blah, blah. No, I've been sexually lost. You know, I love women. Because I was raped and molested by a man my whole life. And I've never even had sex or made love or fucked, excuse my French, a man without being inebriated, intoxicated to the point of a blackout, blacking in and out. And I've made love to women and I love women and that's also my battle in my head as well because I'm a God-fearing woman. I grew up in church. I love God. I've had Sunday school classes. I did theology. And I know God is real, whether you're a believer or not, you know, atheist, Buddha, Allah, whatever your belief is. Good for you. I'm not trying to force my beliefs or opinions on you. However, I know there's a living God. And so that's my battle. And my demons is one of my vices is I love women, prefer women, rather be with women. However, I know that's against God's will. And it's an everyday struggle, especially, like I said, when you're a beautiful woman and you have the most beautiful women in the world. And like I said, it's a one day at a time, you know. You know, like I said, I've had women more beautiful than me and I'm gorgeous coming on to me. And the more I try to stay away, the harder they come on to you and test you and want to get with you and experiment or whatever. And, you know, so that's one of my 3 vices is pot, a little bit of wine, and women. And like I said, everything in moderation. However, I want to live according to the law and the will of God, and that's against it. So, like I said, it's an everyday battle. All I could do is pray to change and be better. And not to, you know, not saying anything about homosexuality or bisexuality or trisexuality, whatever. But yeah. Like I said, even being with a man sexually, it still brings so many flashbacks and hurt. I remember being in the ghetto. I grew up in the hood, in the ghetto, came from nothing, and I'm building my empire again because I lost it all through this divorce. And people be like, ew, Nick, you're so disgusting. Why do you deal with women? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, if you guys only truly knew the insides and the reasons of doing it, And those same individuals that would judge, critique, criticize, and ridicule would also come on to me. Ew, you're nasty for liking women. Then they'd be at my door knocking to come get a taste. And like I said, I've always been intrigued by women. However, I just want to do something new. It's going to be 2020 in a few hours. My life hasn't been easy. I got very, very bad PTSD, depression, anxiety, all kinds of mental shit, as we all do. And I've never been properly medicated because to get a psych appointment is you got to jump through hoops for days. And then when you get there, they want to drug test you. And I've been self-medicating on marijuana. So that doesn't help the situation. And I just thank God for holding me one more day. I just found a $100 bill. And I thank God, like I said, holding me one more day off of the pot, the alcohol, the women, the trials and tribulations, and continuing to allow me to build confidence and to become a better woman. And like I said, going back to the original reason of this video was speaking of women's self-confidence. And so, not speaking for all the women, but I can say that a lot of you beautiful women can agree that, like I said, people say, oh, you're so beautiful, things come easier. No, sweetheart. Actually, it's 10 times harder because everybody looks at your beauty only. So now I have something to prove. Not only my beauty, but my intelligence. Look at my heart and soul. Not just my physical. That will all diminish with time. Yeah, so my beautiful queens, my little sisters out there, whether you believe in God, a higher power or not, man, take it one day at a time. And I'm sorry if you experienced this, but I'm here. You can comment, you can hit me up, you can subscribe to my page. I'm here to build you up. I believe, like I said, you use your mess for a message. I've been raped and molested my whole life, not only to build women up, but to tell them that, you're not alone. I remember the first time I came out with this story, I was about 19, and I was at a party selling a lot of drugs at that time. So I was at a party, we were all doing a little bit of cocaine, and this girl told me, and we just were at the bar doing a bump, and we both just started crying because we never realized that there was another individual besides us that have experienced that. When you're being raped and molested your whole life, you feel so all alone with this big secret. So when I was speaking to this girl and we were telling our situations, we just started crying, and we couldn't believe it because, like I said, you feel so alone. I'm like, wow, somebody else been raped and molested? Oh my gosh. And this is only 15 years ago. 17, 18 years ago. So I thank God for our society becoming more liberated and liberal and not sweeping shit under the rug no more. But you never know who's going through what. And that's why I just try to love everybody, not judge or criticize, because you don't know who's going through what. It doesn't matter. The money, the socioeconomic background, the intelligence, it doesn't matter. We are all struggling with demons. But like I said, my goal, I love Joyce Myers and her ministry and what she's doing. Her story too, she was also raped and molested by her father, and I just want to be similar to her. I want to speak my truth and encourage people, just give them love and show them and let them know that they're not alone, and don't let the shame consume you. So yeah, I want to be a little Puerto Rican Joyce Myers and spread the love and the word and just let you know that you're not alone, man. Jesus loves you. Jesus has you. And yes, I had a hard life, and for the past 30 plus years, it's been rain. The seeds are about to plant, baby. You gotta go through the storm to get this beautiful weather. I'm ready to declare it, receive it. 2020 gonna be the best year of my life. Not only for my businesses, my jobs, and my elevation with life coach, motivational speaker, which is blowing up, by the grace of God. I'm working in, all these movie studios. God is too good. Things that I never thought I would experience. But once I changed my stinking thinking, my thoughts, praying and meditating, you can change your world, man. Like I said, don't sit in your shit. Sorry to say it like that, but if you sit in your poop, pour me another drink. But, we can overcome this, and I would love to help you overcome it as your sister, as a leader, as a helper. I love you. Have a blessed day, y'all. Hit me, text me, whatever.